Straight out the South, Arkansas, where the talk is real and the vibe is raw. This South got something to say. No filters, no faking, just the truth, how we see it. So kick back, tap in, and let's get to it. The Still Country Podcast, Still Country Podcast, Still Country Podcast. Show the money, Still Country Podcast, Still Country Podcast, Still Country Podcast.
Yo, what up, fam? It's your boy Eli Isabell, rocking with my man
Chaz. You know what's going on, Chaz. Sitting over,
we in the building. Welcome to the Still Country Podcast. It is Thursday night. You're at the right place at the right time, man. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight. We have an awesome show for y'all tonight, man. Very interesting show. Something that I've been wanting to do for a while, and I finally found a brave soul who's gonna step up to the mic and represent. So I definitely appreciate him, man. And before we go any further, I want to make sure I like to allow my guests to introduce themselves because I have a habit of doing people a disservice. I might leave something out. So I always give people the opportunity to introduce themselves. So my guest for tonight, Mr. Kenyatta, talk to the people, man.
Podcast. I appreciate y'all having me on. My name is Kenyatta Floyd, heavy equipment operator by trade. I'm an author by passion and also an instructor and a teacher. And you want to support my book, go on Amazon. I'm on Amazon. It's pretty much a pamphlet, a how-to pamphlet, a little 101 on how to operate equipment. And I'm also starting a course down here in Baltimore where I'm at. So some things in the works.
That's what's up. Hey, Kenyatta, if you text me the information for your book and I'll put it in the chat.
We'll do, brother.
While we're here. Yeah. So listen, y'all, welcome to the show tonight, man. Yo, I'm excited, Chad. But before we get started, what's up? How you doing? How's your week been?
it's been good.
Yeah.
I'm still doing physical therapy and stuff like that.
Okay.
For my back, lower back.
Sound like a lawsuit. No.
It sounds like I need to heal first. Yeah, but we like money.
That's right. Get to the money, baby. You got to get to the money. Hey, y'all, before we go any further, it is there's some feedback. Before we go any further, it is Women's History Month. So I thought I would take a minute to, am I muted up there? I thought I would take a minute to just kind of talk about some people. You know, I'm always representing Arkansas because that's what I know. So I thought I'd take a second to talk about some Black women who've made history in Arkansas since it's Women's History Month. And I plan to do this next week. I was present tonight, so I didn't necessarily get as much as I wanted to get figured out for this. But anyway, first and foremost, I want to hop into this. Elizabeth Eckford. I know most of you probably have no idea who the hell she is, but if you heard of the Little Rock Nine, the 9 people who integrated Little Rock Central High School back in 1957, she was one of those young ladies who walked through that crowd and was spat on, yelled at, cursed at with the other 8 people. So Miss Elizabeth Eckford, man, we just want to show you some love. And guess who was in that crowd? Jerry Jones, owner of the Cowboys. There's a photo, and you know that's my team too. There's a photo of a Jerry Jones. Yeah, there's a photo of Jerry Jones standing to the side. Now, he didn't appear to be screaming or spitting or any of that, but he was there as a young man, young high schooler. So I just want to shout out Miss Elizabeth Eckford and the contributions you made and paved the way for so many of us today. And next, last but not least, I want to talk about Miss Dr. Jocelyn Elders. She's the first African-American and the second woman to serve as a U.S. Surgeon General. So let's talk about that. Like, you know, I'm not prepared. I should have been ready because I wanted to know what president nominated her or put in that position. But anyway, shout out to her, man. She was born in Shell, Arkansas. And just trailblazers, man, for Black women today. Black History Month. Shout out to all the women, my grandparents, my mom, in memoriam. And anybody want to shout out? Chad, any Black women that have made history or even your family?
I'm always going to give credit to my mom and my sisters and my aunts. Like they definitely hold it down for the image that I would like to have for a woman around me.
Okay.
Yeah, they solid.
If you have a good relationship with your parent or your mother, they said you more likely want to marry somebody similar to your mother.
Yeah, it's crazy. I look for her
those traits.
Yeah.
Like,
because my generation is a little different. So the loyalty that her generation, like my mom's generation, come with to their men is different than what we get.
Right, for sure.
like looking for that, or just looking for the like putting yourself first, and like you gotta love yourself before you can even love me.
Facts.
Type of deal. So it's just
All right. Well, we'll well, hopefully they get it together. Your generation.
That's cool. I
All
ain't
right.
looking for them.
Kenyatta, anybody you want to shout out, brother? It's Women's History Month.
Yeah.
Anybody?
I'm shout out all the women in my life, my mom, my sisters, my grandmothers who are not here right now, but still made an influence. My aunts, my girlfriend, all
That's
of
what's up.
back on my life in a certain kind of way that I cherish.
Dope. Definitely appreciate that. All right, y'all. Let's get into word. What's the word for tonight? Unless you've been on a rock, because I actually know adults who don't watch the news. They don't even know the weather, let alone anything about what's going on in the world. I'd be like, I know people who will get up and go outside, and they're like, "Oh shit, I didn't know it was gonna be cold today." Like you 40 years old, you don't even know the weather. I ain't saying you gotta be a deep dive into politics or nothing, but the weather is a bare minimum.
Yeah.
You got it right in your hand. Everybody got an iPhone. It's crazy. So unless you've been on a rock and you have no social media or you don't watch the news ever, we are embroiled in a little conflict with Iran, us and Israel. If Kenyatta, is that you? I hear some feedback.
I ain't got nothing going on here.
I'm trying to figure where is feedback coming from. Mic check 1 2. Yeah, I definitely. Let me turn my mic off and back on.
Oh, it might be my fan on my computer. Is it still on?
All right, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I definitely hear the feedback still. All right, we're gonna persevere.
Okay, it should cut off in a minute.
All right. So unless you've been on a rock, we're involved in a conflict here with Iran. And so here's a confusing thing for me. Back in June of last year, we bombed their nuclear plants. The US did. We wanted to drop some things on them, and we were told by our president that they no longer had nuclear capabilities. Now here we are 7 months later, and we're bombing them. We're at war with them because of the threat of them having nuclear capabilities. Now, I don't know how long it takes to create a nuclear bomb, because if you blew up their facility, where are they making these nuclear bombs at? And then it's so confusing because you have Trump saying one thing, you have Pete Hegseth, the secretary, they call it war now, saying one thing. You got Marco Rubio saying another thing. So it's like we can never ever get the truth, or it's just a lot of, I don't know what they'd be doing. They can't even get on the same page to give us all the same information. So now we're embroiled in this. And my only thing with this whole thing with Iran is I know for a fact those are the kind of people that will strap a bomb up to themselves to kill us. To be over here in America, walk into a mall or anywhere, and they would sacrifice themselves to kill like 100 people.
So let me play devil's advocate.
Yes.
How would you feel if people was coming over here and bombing around your house? Would you like them?
Oh, absolutely not. Like us? No, I don't. They didn't like us prior to this. No,
not the first time we went to war with them.
This is not the first time we've been involved in conflict with them. Absolutely not. I just feel like it's such a volatile time. First of all, we're not even united in this country, for one, and now we have to be worried about some lone wolf or some group of people who may do something crazy. And there are Iranian citizens in this country, whether legally or illegally, but it's something over here. And so I'm just saying, I say all that to say we got to be careful right now, because those people, they don't care. They'll die to kill a bunch of us.
Did something like that happen in Texas?
Yeah, a guy, he shot up a lot of people, and they found out that he had a T-shirt underneath his shirt. It had the flag of Iran on it. So, I mean, yeah, it's already starting, man. So I'm just saying, everybody be careful, because we don't know what's going on. Do they have nuclear bombs? Do they not? I don't know, man. But I just say be careful, y'all. Any feedback? Anything you got for that, Kenyatta?
Okay, yeah. Mic check.
Mic check. I'm here, baby.
Yeah. So I definitely agree with that. It is it's precarious and it's dangerous times right now that we're in. Things are happening a lot quicker, a lot faster. We're being deluged with a lot of different things at a lot of different levels. Um, I'm a big proponent of legal firearms, so I definitely would say if you are legal, get your firearm, practice and train. You know what I mean? Pray, train, and stay
Absolutely.
ready. You know?
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, keep your head on the swivel now. It's
Yeah,
gonna be a wild time for a minute. I'm
yeah,
gonna say
yeah.
that. And goddamn it, gas. Listen, this morning I went to work, bro. Gas was $2.99. Now it's $3.50 in a
Yeah,
matter of 8 hours.
I seen that on my way in. It was
What
like
the
That's the
three.
war effect. That's the war effect.
yo? For real, I'm
Yeah,
about
Yeah,
to go old school and get a water hose. You know, I don't know, Chad. You probably too young
I
for
know.
this. They siphon
No,
gas out of
you
somebody's
start
tank.
stealing some gas. Yeah,
I've seen it. The clear hose. I've seen that one. Yeah.
Yo, man, it's a wild time. I'm like, damn, 50 cents in eight
yeah,
hours. I think we're
yeah,
gonna hit. This is supposed to go for a minute. I could see us easily being 4.50,
You
maybe
think so? You
$5.
think we're gonna get
If the
back to
longer it goes and they can't
yeah. The
get the,
longer it goes,
oh
the longer it
man, I
goes, the
remember
worse it
gas.
will.
Kenyatta's in my age group. I'm gonna assume. Can y'all remember when gas went up to like $5 a gallon? Of this was
Yeah,
like maybe before COVID.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
gonna
It was
say,
stupid.
yeah,
It was stupid.
Yeah, I was probably I was not. I was probably driving only but about 5 years.
bro. The $40 worth of gas got you nothing. That was a quarter of a tank.
Listen, you had to plan out you had to plan your routes out and see whether it was important enough to go out.
Listen, I
You
looked
know,
into 1 month. We did a budget where we had spent in 1 month. I think we had spent close to $2,000 on just gas alone between the two cars, right?
hey,
Because gas is like over $5, right? And I looked into buying a fucking horse.
I know
that's
I
how EVs got popular.
yo, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I looked at some. I called these people out in Pennsylvania, like in Lancaster County, to see if what a horse costs. Of course, a horse is like 20K. I didn't know a horse is the same as a damn car.
So where you gonna put this horse at?
Nigga, I was gonna tie this horse up to the back of this deck and get me some
hilarious,
hay and feed his ass, and we gonna ride that bitch at work like Lil Joe
hilarious.
Cartwright out this mother. But yeah, man. So listen, gas. Hey, just buckle up. This gas is about to get real crazy, man. So
Yeah,
listen, let's get into tonight's conversation, man. Yacht, I'm looking. Can Yacht? I only called you Yacht because I know somebody who called you that when she was
you
referring to
good?
you,
You
and
good?
it kind of
You
stuck
good?
in my head. But anyway, let's get into this whole the whole black conservative thing. And I'm saying black because you black, we black, and you're the only black conservative that I think I know that's
Yes.
admittedly saying they want. So I just got questions, and then we can kind of have some banter uh over these questions. So
Okay.
let's start here. What led you to being a conservative? How did you arrive at this point?
So, my political journey. I'm assuming I'm not unlike anyone else here in this room and who potentially watching. You know, I was raised in a Democratic family. Voted Democrat. Almost, on automatic. Never thought about it, right? Uh, so I think right after I voted for Obama. So I think after Obama, I started to, get into politics more, be more cognizant of it, start to be aware of it, wanted to know more about it. So, that was the start of that. And outside of Obama going into Trump first term, um, I was like everybody else, like, yo, this dude's crazy. You know what I mean? He's a wild dude. Um, so coming out of Trump's second term, going into Biden, still felt the same, but was still open to different kinds of information at this point, right? Because I was locked into MSNBC and all the other ones during Obama, after Obama. But after that, I started opening my horizons and started, looking on YouTube more different aspects of news and everything is like this. And the information that was coming in, it started to have a ring of truth to me, right? As far as understanding how information goes, especially understanding where you're getting information from. Everything that you get information from on TV is slanted in some kind of way, right?
Absolutely.
So, which had me go to YouTube, right? And that's not to say that YouTube isn't biased as well, but it's a larger aggregate of information for you to pick from. So, um, and that's basically, what led me to not be, change my political affiliation from Democratic. I changed over to Republican I think I'm gonna go, and this year I'll switch it to whatever I can switch it. I'll switch it to independent.
Right.
But information is the key, like they say. You know what I mean? People without information, you perish, and that's mentally. I just consumed as much information as possible on both sides, and you get information from the left, you get information from the right, you get information from the center, and then that's when you use discernment, right, to figure out what has the ring of truth, what's the common thread. It's just like doing research. You get an aggregate of information, and then you follow the commonalities out of it.
So personal question, if you don't mind, how does this play as far as your beliefs and you being a conservative now? How does that play within the family? You say you grew up in a Democratic household, pretty much everybody voted the same way. How does that play with the fam?
We don't talk about politics.
Oh, that's the best way to avoid it.
Yeah. It's heated. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, shout out to my mom and my dad, but shout out to my dad. I was raised by a giant, so I had no choice but to be, stand tall and be a leader in my own beliefs. Right. So, like with COVID, when COVID was going crazy, because you mentioned it earlier, when COVID was going crazy, I didn't take the shot. You know what I mean? Okay. I didn't believe in it because, for my own reasons and everything like that. But, my job was threatening, and, everything was like that. My family putting pressure on me. You need to take the shot. Just listen, I'm not doing it because I'm not comfortable with it. Right. Still got my job, thankfully, and still got my family, thankfully. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, I think it's moments like those where you figure out what kind of man you're going to be, what kind of man you are, and what kind of beliefs that you're going to stand on. We don't talk politics like that, but that's fine, because once again, I'm my own man. I have my own perspective, and also too, they might not have consumed the information that I've consumed.
For right? Sure. Yeah. So how do you? Let me ask this question right here. So, how do you? Clearly, I think I heard you did vote for Trump this past go round. So how is it? Is it hard to separate his politics from the other foolishness? Like, as a black person, how do you separate the racist comments or the racist actions? And let me explain that before before you answer, if you will. So here's my thing with him. If you are not a racist but then you do stuff that is going to trigger, like, why trigger? We knew the Obama thing with the apes would trigger us. He knew that saying that the Somalians in Springfield, Ohio are eating dogs would trigger us. There's certain things like, so if this is not in your wheelhouse and this is not who you are, and you're just focused on making this country great or doing what's best for this country, how do you separate that or reconcile that as a black man with supporting him?
So, first thing, a racist being in the White House is nothing new, right? Absolutely. For two reasons. Any white man in that age group are going to have that bias, right? Whether that bias turns into racism, you know what I mean? Because you got to understand the difference between bias, bigotry, and racism, right? So any white man in that age group is already going to have it. So we've had Democratic presidents that was racist, right?
Absolutely. Biden said some shit back about 35 years ago.
Said some wild shit. Yeah, right.
Absolutely.
Even to the point of if you don't vote for me, you're not black, right? And that's mild, but it's still some wild shit. Now Trump is hilarious, right? He's crazy. He's hilarious to me. The one thing that made me look at him different is, back after Obama and Trump lost, and I was just going through the information phase. I was like, you know what? And I was watching some of the things, and some of the things turned out to be a little true that he said that in the past. I said, what if this crazy dude? Can I cuss on here or no?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, you fucking can.
I said, what if this crazy motherfucker is right? You know what I'm saying? Because you got to understand something. One of the things is that they say, I'm not, big on the Bible as far as the scriptures, but I do understand it. You know what I mean? Is that um, don't get caught. I'm gonna say I'm gonna mess it up. My sister gonna help me out, but don't get caught up in the messenger. Listen to the message. You see what I'm saying? And this would be a perfect parable to have this crazy motherfucker in office doing all the wild shit that he do. But what if he's telling the truth on some things? I'm not even saying 100% of the things.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We can go whatever percentage you want to go with it, but what if he's saying the true things? You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So it rang true to me in that instance. So he says some wild shit. That's his personality, right? But to me, he does some good things for the country. So that's how I square it with myself, right? Because I'm 50 years old. So now, as we get older, I think you start off Democratic. I'm speaking black men specifically. I think you start off Democratic, but as you get older, I think you start to lean more towards conservatism. You know what I mean? Because my understanding definition of conservatism is, is family, God, and taking care of your money and your house and your kids, right? And that mindset is what we dealt with. We was given in early in the beginning, coming out of slavery. Black motherfuckers didn't want a handout. We just wanted the opportunity.
Right.
And we really just want to be left alone. We can do it ourselves. Just leave us alone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So here, one thing for me, I hear everything you're saying, and some of that I do agree with. So for me, I know for a guy like him, his donors are, take the National Rifle Association. These people pump in millions, if probably not billions of dollars into him. Elon Musk, what he did. These people put all this money behind him. And I truly feel like if you really think about it, his policies and things pretty much, I mean, I've looked into it. It benefits the rich. It benefits the people who stand behind him. And I don't know how. And for me, if there was a Republican president or independent, right? Absolutely, it's nothing new. Absolutely, but it's like he don't give a damn. Like it's like I feel like he don't give a damn.
So, like
Go
I
ahead.
said, I'm in the middle.
All
I'm
right.
not on either side. Because I don't really get into the politics. But I don't educate myself enough on politics to speak on it. So, but I do feel that I would rather have a president that's doing what he's doing, because you're showing me your cards, you're telling me who you are, than to give me the false hope. Like, he doesn't give you the false hope. He's just gonna blatantly just be him.
Absolutely.
There
There's no false hope. There's definitely no false hope.
So with that, I'm thinking I'm only 29, so I've only dealt with so many presidents since I've been an adult.
Right.
And I haven't been affected. I would say me and my family has not, that I know of, has not been affected by Trump's terms more than any other president we've seen.
I think maybe you don't. It's some things that have happened. I'm sure that you probably don't realize. I know people who
I don't educate myself enough on the politics,
who were 22 years in with the feds last year and lost their job when Elon came through slashing everything. Here's my thing: if you're trying to cut, and Kenyatta, jump in on this. If you're trying to cut government spending, so if your job, Kenyatta, and if my job, if there's wasteful spending at that agency, right? Who do you fire? You fire the people in charge. You don't fire the people underneath them. Why does a janitor who touching maybe 40, 50K a year, why is he getting fired? Why are all these people losing their jobs who had nothing to do with this wasteful spending? When I was at Head Start, if there was fraud at the top, they're gonna get rid of their administrative people. Why are we firing the teachers?
Listen,
I'm looking at it from their perspective.
Listen, I don't agree with him on 100% everything, right? I don't at all. And this is one of the things that I don't agree with him on is the way he went about it. That was very haphazard, and he went in there with a hammer instead of going in there with a scalpel, right? And doing that. That was haphazard because a lot of people was affected by that for no reason. They really shouldn't have been affected by it. And that was just idiotic and stupid on his part. You know what I mean? To have to put people through that. People killed themselves from that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? People kill themselves from that because that's the, when you're getting older, this is your life. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And, to put people through that kind of stress, it's ridiculous for nothing. And then he ended up calling people back. Why? Because he figured out, oh shit, I cut too much. So
We
that's
need
stupid.
them.
Yeah, we need them. That's
Yeah.
stupid. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely agree with you on that. That's the dumbass shit. You know what I'm saying? Um, it's government. You know what I mean? This is not to absolve them of any. You know what I'm saying? It's government. Government do dumb shit all the time. You know what I mean? That's why they say a lot of times, it's best to put things in the private sector because government is not good at doing, those kind of things. But yeah, but go ahead, though.
Okay. Let me read a comment. Oliver said, in this day and age, I think people are aligning their political allegiance with their personal spiritual beliefs and values. I got some pushback on that one. Oh, then he says only two choices when voting: a Christian supporting far right or a far left beliefs is a heavy discussion. So here's what I'm gonna say, because if you think about the Conservative Party, let's call it the party of, we'll just say Reagan, right? I was alive when Reagan was around, and everything you described, Kenyatta, what a conservative should be. I think we're so far removed from that now. I feel like that the people who call themselves conservatives and Democrats too. Let's not absolve anybody of anything, but the church has been removed. I feel like God has been removed from the way they think and the way they treat and the way they act toward people. I think conservatives are way more gangster right now, and I feel like people have always been gangster, but I feel like Trump ushered in this era of. I remember doing his campaign speeches, his first run. Oh, get him the fuck out of here, whoop his ass, I'll bail you out. I
Yeah,
think, and then he turned on the reporters. I think that
yeah,
he's ushered in a new conservative party that whose values have distanced themselves from the old values of the conservative party. And I
yeah.
think he is emboldened. He's tapped into whatever racist people have inside them that makes them tick. I think he's tapped into that. And we are more divided. I think since probably since slavery and the civil rights movement. I think right now in this country, we're more divided. Like, I wish we could just focus on his politics, but he won't let us.
So I'm sorry. Go ahead, brother.
Oh, go ahead.
No,
Go ahead, Ted.
I'm just saying, I don't think that. I mean, people say that we're more divided, but I really think we're closer in a sense of humanity somewhere on certain levels. Like my kids,
Mm-hmm.
their friends are all different races. They don't care about nothing that's going on about what we're talking about.
Right.
They're friends regardless.
Right.
So it's like generations have kind of like trickled in out of that. What we're talking about? Like it's like your age and up, that generation and up is the ones that are speaking on it because y'all been through so much. Our generations are like, what? If that's my friend, that's my friend. If he's loyal, he's loyal. I don't care about skin color or where he came from or who his grandpa was. His grandpa was a slave owner, but he's not a slave owner. Like it's like a little pushback with that with my generation.
Right.
We kind of need answers. Like, well, why don't you like him? Because of his grandpa? Huh? Like that doesn't make sense.
I could dislike you for that. No,
I don't know. I don't know.
Kenyatta, what was you about to say?
I forgot what I was about to say, but to his point though, I think how I'm receiving what he was saying is that there's levels to this. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of different nuances to this. You know what I'm saying? And there's no one archetype. So we'll say this: we can agree that the left and the right, Republican and Democratic, both have become radicalized and are to the extremes on both ends. Right? The middle,
Agree.
the political middle is gone. To be political middle nowadays is to be a pariah. You know what I mean? So that is the nature of where we're at today. So that's why everything is so hyperbolic. You know what I mean? Everything is so hyperbolic, right? But like you said, though, as it goes to the people of the country, I feel like we just got to figure out how to deal with ourselves day to day. And also to the point I was going to make is that personally, as a black man, you know what I mean? I feel like us as black people are having a political awakening, right? We're becoming more conscious about politics and exactly how politics works, because for a long time, the Democrats, and this might be just the hole that I'm in, right? But there's a lot of black people waking up to the fact of seeing like, oh, hold on, Democrats really haven't really done that much for us. What I'm saying, in comparison to what Republicans have done for us, right? So black people are starting to become more politically astute and understand how politics works. Because me personally, I don't really feel like we know how politics works. You know what I'm saying? Every other group, they understand that, okay, if you want the group the vote from the Latino or the Asian, we have a bill that we drafted to whatever politician is coming down to talk to them, right? We have a bill that we want pushed. We got 5 bills here that we want pushed. We need at least 3 of them passed, right? So they have their the bill part that's being written, and they also have the money part, right, which is the donors. So now they can put that politician out there, and now that politician is advocating for them, right? This is how in the midst of all the bullshit that we've been asking and what's been going on, Asians got the Asian hate bill out like that immediately, right? So this is how politics works, and that's been my biggest thing with my people, is that we have to wake up and understand. Now, this isn't the only way to attack it, but we have to understand that this is one of the ways that we need to attack it. You know what I mean? If people understand, you or the audience know who Dr. Claude Anderson is, right? He talked about group politics, voting blocks. So imagine if we was able to sit up here and copy our other races, our sister, other races that we live with. Say, hey, listen, instead of letting Clinton come down and use a saxophone to get our vote to the church, or instead of letting Hillary come down with some motherfucking hot sauce in her motherfucking purse and get our goddamn votes, how about we say, nah, you do all that, but when you come to this church, you're not going to talk to Cardi B or goddamn the pastor. We have our own economists that got 3 or 4 bills written up. We have our own, millionaires. This is where the entertainers come in at, right? That say, we're going to put this money to back you. And we say, listen, this when the pastor come up and say, hey, listen, I got a block of 20,000 people that's ready to vote for you right now. If you can pass, if you can get 3 of these 5 bills passed, this is how we are supposed to engage in politics. Politics is a pre and pro quo game, and we are playing it off of feelings. Yep. If you think about everything that happens, it's all cyclical. Every year, they come down to the church, they sing, they hoop and holler, then they get the fuck out and you don't see them again. But guess what they did? They fleeced you for your vote. You see what I'm saying? We've been taken advantage of. We just got to wake the fuck up. We are playing the game wrong.
I think that traditionally we have been late to the political party that's been thrown for 200 years, right? Of course, we've been late to the party, and I think we've been stuck in a lot of it just trying to survive day to day, and you don't have confidence in. And I'm just speaking. Of course, I'm not speaking for all black people, but I think a good handful of us, a lot of us are trying to figure it out from day to day, and so their thought process or their wheelhouse doesn't extend beyond what am I eating? Am I going to be able to get a meal today? Not to mention that maybe who we vote for can kind of benefit us to put us in a position where we can eat every day. But I think if you're starving, you're not worried about 2028. You're worried about now.
Yeah.
And because of the policies and the way things have been in the past, it leaves us in a position. Are you right about them coming down to the church and doing? I think we get fascinated when people show up in our space and we feel like, oh, something's going to be done for us. But I also feel like I don't feel like something's going to be done for me and my community by a Republican or independent either. I feel like Republicans get into office to make their friends rich. Democrats get into office to become rich. So at the end of the day, they don't include any of us, the working class person.
So with that, so to that point, so why don't we start holding them accountable, right? Because what you spoke of in the beginning was symbolism, right? We're used to symbolism. You know what I'm saying? Obama, the first black president, we all went crazy. What did he do for black people? Shit. You know what I'm saying? He did more for gay rights than he did for black rights. You see what I'm saying? Reality. So this is what I'm saying. What you're saying is part of the awakening. You just don't want it. You're just not saying it all the way. And I'm not gonna force you. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is that we need to wake up. We are using our emotions for the wrong game. And to your point, yes, survival mode is a real fucking thing. Survival mode will keep you it keep you in tunnel vision because all you see what's in front of you. Mm-hmm. Every day, every minute, every hour, it's a new goddamn problem that you gotta fucking fix. You see what I'm saying? So you don't have time to relax. Your mind doesn't have time to relax and think about fucking next week, or even have the audacity to think about, well, shit, what the fuck is going on with the government? I don't give a fuck about the government. I'm trying to pay this goddamn bill.
Right.
So I
feel you. Daily.
This is the point.
That's a daily thing.
But at that point, though, this is where, you know what I'm saying, it's on the leaders, the community leaders, to be righteous, right? And lead the people in the proper and the righteous way. And like you said, the church is not it no more.
Yeah, I was just about to say something about that. I was just about to say, like, because as much as we want to hold the politicians accountable, what about the pastors? What about the OGs in the neighborhoods? What about, it's a lot of different people we can hold accountable that we can actually talk to and know.
Right.
That we know, like, family. We know where you come from. And we don't even go to them and with that type of pressure. So that's why, like, I'm in the middle, because I don't respect how we can really put pressure on somebody. You ain't gonna never get the Donald Trump to have that much hate for him. Like, relax. But at the same time, people that from your community that are straight dogging your community, and you ain't never pressed them about no issues. So it's like we looking at them to help us, but we don't even help ourselves. And then the second thing is we the number one consumers of stuff that we don't even really need.
All right, absolutely.
So how we complaining about the money? We talking about them being rich. We can't get rich because we spend all our money.
Valid. I agree. That's we're in an economical crisis always, and we spend a lot of money on nothing. I just posted something the other day.
Guilty of it sometimes.
Right.
I also I'm very good with what I have. Like, I can budget and be like, I can make it look good, but at the same time, they don't even worry about that. They will wear the same pair of jeans for 3, 4, 5 years. They don't care about getting a new car. They don't care about none of that.
Right.
We care about that because it's, once again, like he said, it's feelings.
Yeah.
We care about what you think, how you feel. I got to step out, but they not worried about that. If we was behind, we need to be grinding. We don't need to be going out popping bottles. I've been guilty of all of it, but I'm just saying we can't complain about it if we're not doing nothing to help. Like,
to change it.
Yeah,
change the behavior.
I can't say I hate Trump, but I don't hate the OG that then put 5 young boys in jail.
No, they all, as far as I look at it from a macro level, right? If you're not with us, like if you're not, whether you're a dope boy or a politician, you can get the same hate from me. Like some people celebrate the hood dude who's out here killing the community. I'm not a hood dude. I've never been a hood dude, and so that guy means nothing to me. He's the same as a corrupt politician in my mind. Okay. So no, there's no like love for that type of black man or white man, whoever it may be. My thing is, as far as we're talking about conservatives right now, I think that if we can do away with all of the smoke screens, all of that nonsense, and present to me. I hear what Kenyatta's saying, but present to me without all of the foolishness why I think you're good for my. I'm not just talking about me. I have a good job. Thank God I do well for myself. But I think about the rest of the community who's out here suffering, the little kids I work with who come in starving every day. Like, I think about those people who parents probably have never voted. But so if you are truly about the country as a whole, then let's take care of everybody. Especially these kids and old people. They should not be ever left in a position to where nobody's doing anything. These are the most vulnerable of our community. The people in the middle, hey, you gotta fucking figure it out. But the babies, you couldn't funding for after school programs, you couldn't funding for Head Start programs. These things adversely affect our community. Now, are there more? I'm starting to see more white kids in these programs
I was
now.
just about to say, there's more of them on all the benefits.
Well, I'm speaking
Yeah.
from a nonprofit programs that in trying to be in the community to help our people. Those places are being adversely affected, and so that leaves us once again. Where's the opportunity for us to kind of pull out? They say pull yourselves up by your bootstraps, so we don't got no fucking boots. So I don't know. I just feel like if we're gonna play the game, let's play it fair. And then if you fuck up what you got going on when it's fair, then that's on you. But let's at least play the game fair off the top. That's my only thing with conservatives, Democrats, or whoever. Let's do this shit right. Because I'm about my community and the people I care about and all of these babies out here that are suffering. And if you're not about that, and if the person you're voting for isn't about that, I can't really rock with that person, for the most part.
Well, like the young blood said, you know what I'm saying? You know, the whole thing, the whole system is messed up. Let's just agree upon that, right?
Facts.
It's been messed up under Trump. It's been messed up under Biden. It's been messed up under Reagan. It's been messed up under Obama, right? Can we agree upon that, right?
I'm gonna get you guys comments in a second. Go ahead, yeah. I'm just letting people know I'm gonna read their comments.
Okay. So, two things. Necessity is the mother of invention, right? We have to start taking care of ourselves, like the young blood said. You know what I'm saying? Shit's tight. It's only gonna get tighter. So that means we got to start getting back to community. Start looking out for each other. Start trying to figure out, okay, how can we do this ourselves? How can we not wait on government? Right? You gotta understand, like that's where we come from. There's no way in the world that the same people out of slavery who had all of these different Black Wall Streets across the country, you know what I mean, both 3 or 4 generations later, now we are sitting here talking about, oh man, the government ain't paying me my check. Nah, fuck the government. Let's figure out how to get on our own. Let's start this is where information comes at, right? Dr. Claude Anderson, group economics, right? Community-based initiatives, right? We have the money. We are what is that? I think it's $7.9 trillion. The black dollar is 7.9 trillion. That number may be off, but we are as far as the global scale goes, I think we like the 7th or 8th if we was a country. Or dollar.
Just the black dollar.
Just the black dollar. We have the money. Like the young brothers alluded to or said, we just don't know. We're just not financially literate on that level en masse. Right? Everybody else's dollar circulates in their community 3 or 4 times before it leaves it.
Mm-hmm.
Or stays 10, 15 minutes like it just seen some bullshit happening and it got to go. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Our problem is, once again, to me, I think our problem is information. We got to become literate. We got to understand the world that we in, and we got to adapt. We are asleep right now. We got to wake the fuck up. You see what I'm saying? That to me, that's what it is. We have everything that we need to make it in us, with us, around.
Let me
us.
ask you this, yeah. Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Don't answer yet, because I'm gonna ask you this question so I don't forget it, and then
Okay.
I'm gonna read some comments and come back to it. Do you think back in the day when we had the Black Wall Street, we had the thing down in Florida where we had had our thing cracking, and they came in when they saw us moving, doing well, and holding our own and not needing them for anything, they came in and they destroyed it. Now, do you think if we were ever able to get back to an economic prosperity in that way, would this country allow that to persist? Hold that thought. Let me read some comments.
Okay.
Let me see where we started. Okay. Oh, so Oliver said Chaz is 100% regarding physical race. It's about an extreme liberal agenda. I ain't waiting for the Democratic candidate that prevents a transgender man from using the same bathroom as my baby girl. Sheesh. I think I told this story. I was at watching the L House, and I'm going to the bathroom, and there's this woman in front of me with these tight ass jeans on, big booty, long hair. So goes into the bathroom, and I had to look. I was like, "Well, damn, is that is that the men's bathroom? I was like, she going in the wrong bathroom. So I paused, and then I looked, I was like, oh shit. So I walk in there. This Negro was at the urinal.
Yeah.
So I
Shit.
hear you on that, Oliver. It's wild out here. It's wild out here. He says, yes, the economic quote from Ed about Republicans and Democrats is true. Thank you, for validating me. I need you. Journey says, valid, Chaz. You made some point a while ago. I can't remember now, Chaz. She says, the real winner says, it can't be fair. We're the strongest race, so every other race wants to keep us down. Iana says, we need a fair chance to pull ourselves up. Agree. I do. Like, if we doing it, leave us alone and let us do it. The real winner says, the Caucs hold all the cards. It's hard to win a rigged game. Monet Floyd says, good point, brother. What point is that you're agreeing with, Monet? Now, so back to my question.
Yeah.
If we were able to pull off that kind of economic prosperity as a whole, again, do you think this country will allow that to persist?
So let me. I'm gonna ask the question, but I'm gonna ask you a question first. And the brother, is it Chaz right there? You said Chaz, your name, man?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, cool. Those Black Wall Streets and all those successful towns that we incorporated and everything else, they came and burnt it down, things of that nature, and did all that they did to us, murders and all that stuff, riots and all that. Why were they able to do that?
Why were they able to do that?
Yeah,
I'm gonna say because if you're in Tulsa, Oklahoma, right? I guarantee you that, and I'm from the South, so I understand small town politics. And I'm not saying Tulsa's a small town, but my point is, the mayor's son is the sheriff. The mayor's brother is the judge in the town. So all of these things can very easily happen, and there are no consequences. I'm very confident in if all of the political people in the town look like me, think like me, I can do what the fuck I want to do. This is how people were like Medgar Evers murder got off for a while. Like these things happen because of the way the game. Somebody said the way the game has been rigged. So that's how those things happen. There's no fear of consequence.
So
go ahead.
I think it's resources.
Yeah.
Because now we all have the access to some of them resources that they have. It's like it's people say we don't have a fair chance. We don't, but there is also avenues and tools that we can use for our resources to give us closer to a fair chance. Instead of us always complaining, we got to figure out how to unite, get this money, make laws. That's our problem. We complain about stuff, but we're not pushing the law to get it done.
I feel like the law and even to a higher degree, the Constitution right now, no one gives a fuck about any of that. These politicians are violating. Trump is violating the Constitution every other week. Yeah. So there's no checks. My point is that I don't think nobody's caring about laws and constitutions anymore. I think that's kind of. I think we're fading away from that, and people are doing whatever they want to do.
No, they want you to think that that's why we ain't doing them.
Okay, well, I respect the point. Go ahead. Kenyatta.
Well, a quick aside. Every president flirts with the Constitution. That's just the nature of power, right? But my point to my question was that we didn't have no protection. We didn't have our own armed militia. My thing is, once we go ahead and once we start to recreate this, we need the FOI to be the protection. It's already established militia, paramilitia, whatever you want to call it. To me, outside, my knowledge and understanding, things happen like that, the Tulsa, Oklahoma and everything. We didn't have no protection, right? We were kind and we were trying to work with them. You can't work with evil. You have your protection arm out there protecting the people and the money in the town, right? Now the town can move how it needs to move, flourish how it needs to flourish, and now we become powerful how we need to become powerful. If you look back in history and understand what we did in having different kind of movements and different kind of elements in place, you know what I'm saying, and see how much we accomplished. Understand, if we put everything all together, it's a wrap. So we're missing the cohesion. Yeah. We are missing the cohesion. We're missing the like-mindedness. We're missing the focus.
I agree 100%. We're not together as a race. So regardless of who's in office, if we don't come
Yeah.
together, it won't really matter. So I do agree with that. I let me give an example of something that, like what you said, y'all, was extreme, right? Like we need to have our own militia, our own protection. Let me read a comment or two. Then I'm gonna get back to a point. I want to give you guys a quick story. So the real winner says they will never let us truly unite. Who's for our protection now? True black protection. Who is there for us? Yana says we have more resources. Agree, but they will only let us go so far. They will keep us where they want us.
I don't agree. I don't agree with that.
The real winner says again, they hold all the cards. James Scott, what up, brother? He says, great conversation as black people. We need to understand as a race to understand where we're going. True. We have a long way to go in that department right there. If we don't get that figured out, then it doesn't really matter. Nothing we talking about matters if we can't come together. I agree with that. So yeah, back to what you said quickly, shortly ago, when we were talking about, having our own militia and our own protection, right? Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. What do you mean by us coming together? I gotta put that in there because we say that a lot, but all white people ain't together. That's what I've learned that in my experience with my young years.
Right.
Because I don't mind what your race is. I'm a sponge. I need to know what's going on in your culture, how y'all move. I'm trying to figure it out myself.
Right.
So it's like, how can we keep saying get together? Who's getting together?
So here's an example of that.
Who's united? Who do we
Can I interject real quick there? White people aren't together, but they have a system though, right? They have the system that is the structure. So they don't have to be together because the system is the backup plan. Right? You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, brother. What you gonna say to him?
No, I was gonna say about us being together. So here's one thing I do know about white people. Poor white people, rich white people don't mess with poor white people.
Correct.
So that's a fact. But however, rich white people are together. Now, rich black folk, they don't even really fuck with each other either. Like you got these factions over here, you got these over here. So at the very least, in the white culture or white race, or they ain't even a race. What would you say with white people? Those that have can definitely come together and build. We're at a point now because we haven't had it. So when you get it, you so afraid to lose. I'm not effing with this Negro over here. You're gonna make me get me jammed up. So we don't. So yeah, we don't come together.
Yeah.
You know?
It's a scarcity mindset. Like think about this. You know what I'm saying? And this is kind of what made me think like money at a certain level, especially with black people, you know what I mean, entertainers, stars, or whatever. Money at a certain level is fake because, or either they're fake or they've all been co-opted. Because why is it that none of our black millionaires or billionaires have actually come together and opened up or bought a electric company, or haven't done anything that is part of institutions for a city to be ran on? All right. I understand the mob might have the trash. You know what I'm saying? Well, pay them and come in and then get them out of there. Start it up. No electric companies. No, it's a very few banks, right? No credit unions, right? No, whatever else you want to think of. It's always alcohol in a fucking restaurant. You see what I'm saying? That don't pick your brain as being peculiar. Like it's almost like y'all niggas can get some fucking money, but don't do that for the niggas. Why is it that all these black millionaires and nobody has fucking gone to every school in town that they're in where they play or make their money and say, you know what, I'm paying for all the kids that had their free lunch. I'm paying for all their lunches for the year.
Yeah, they can do it.
They could do it, and that's a part of us not being together. That's a part of us not coming together.
To me, this is what I'm saying. That's my little conspiracy theory. But go ahead, do what you're saying, though, blood.
No, so let me read a couple of comments, and I want to share something with you. I was going to talk about the protection and the militia aspect of it, and how they play the game differently. James Scott says people have their own laws. The rich gets richer, and been talking about these things for years. When as people are we going to take action? Lashana says they aren't together, but they need to be. They are together. I felt like I double read that. Like I've been drinking. I ain't even had a drink tonight. The real winner says white people are together at any given moment because when they need their privilege, facts, they definitely use their skin tone. Let me tell you something about white people. The most scum of the earth, poorest white person still believes he's better than a black person. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about dirty, poor PWT. Still believe he better than
And
me.
that was what was that was one of them presidents that got that in their head, right?
Yeah.
When they yeah, you know, you I don't care fuck what you are, but at least you ain't a nigga. But you are in the same goddamn cheese line as we are. You're in the same goddamn mini mart as we are. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Still
Absolutely.
poor like us. It's still goddamn and like the young blood said, on welfare more than us.
Oh, absolutely. And that's not talked about enough.
And
That's why they trick the poor whites. They trick them mentally.
Yeah. Right. This is a question for everybody. It says this is from Oliver. It says socioeconomic supersedes skin tone. Question for the panel: if not the church, as far as black leadership, what do you propose as a uniting force amongst black folk? I'm gonna say this at risk of, you have a problem with me. That's fine. I'm okay with that. I think the church is an outdated go-to, for lack of a better phrase, for our community. I think that the church, especially if you're talking about a Christian church, that Christianity was put on us, and it's held us in check for 400 years to be that's just my opinion. So I don't know if we necessarily need to be looking to Reverend whoever anymore. It needs to be somebody with boots on the ground who has a sense of how to change us from a socioeconomic perspective, how to bring us together. I just don't think the churches are competing for people too. So it's all a competition. Go ahead.
Why do we depend on a pastor?
Why do we depend on a pastor? That's
a valid question. I want you to answer that in the comments. If you see this, clip it, ask your people. Why do we depend on the pastor?
Because it's been passed down generations from generations. This is what this is as much as black people aren't a monolith, we are so much so in certain circumstances. And I think
learn behavior.
Learn behavior.
To answer your point, answer your question though, and like you said, some people might not like me on this. If you don't want to, what are we going to unite on? If it's not the church, I think we need to unite on patriotism and understanding that this is our land, right? This is our land. We, as black people who are actually from here, Indian roots, and we got some Indian whatever. We can't go nowhere. Ain't nobody gonna take us in like that. We got to start understanding like this is our land. We got to fight for this motherfucker, and because every time we take care of it, we just got to hold on to the power next time. You know what I'm saying? This is our land.
Let me
stand on your business.
Exactly. No, I don't disagree with that. Let me say this really quick. So back to the militia part. You had mentioned something very valid. Yeah. So let me give you an example of something. This town, I'm not gonna call it town out, but I spent a lot of time here. This town, I was talking to some older gentlemen in this town down south, right? And they were telling me how a couple of factories had moved into the town, right? The mayor of the city council approved. They can come in, they can build or take over old factories, fix them up, and then put their companies there. Great economic boom for the town, right? Which is now you got 2 factories in this town. Is going to bring, now you're going to need more gas stations. You're going to need more stores. People who have to drive from 30, 40 minutes away or an hour away, now they may actually want to live in this town to be closer to work. So now you have people building houses. Yep. And so this happened, right? The town was all for it. And then what happened was they realized all of the people that worked on the farms in this town, people that got paid out of pocket every Friday from some white man who owned that land, these people started getting jobs at the factories. So it affected the economics of the people who owned the farmland around the town. So, next time that these things came up for vote, they ran them factories out of town so them Negroes could come back to, and this is a town who traditionally, it's kind of their fault, who traditionally, when black people run for city council or black people run for mayor, they don't vote for them. They don't vote. So now you ended up right back where you started, because when you start affecting, it is about the dollar. When you start affecting the white man's bottom line, which is this money, things gonna change, and not for the best. And it's usually us with the low paying jobs in these small rural towns. And so, can things improve for us? I just feel like there can be a way. They always find a way to fuck us, no matter what we do, no matter how well we're trying to pull it together. It's just real crazy. Let me read the only one that says the only way to come together is to put our faces in more positions that matter. Exactly. Predominantly black police force, hospitals, judges, politicians, etc. We don't have a strong presence. He is absolutely correct. I'm assuming the real
Yes,
winner guy. Absolutely correct. I agree. We have to get. We can't. Everybody can't go to the fucking NBA or the NFL.
exactly.
Somebody got, and everybody can't rap. As much as these fools think everybody gonna be a rapper, it can't happen. I want to just make sure I don't miss anybody. Otis laugh. I appreciate the answer, Kenyatta. I think in reference to, but our community, young and old, don't give a damn about our land or patriotism. Your generation, is he talking about them?
Probably.
Ed says podcast having technical issues. I think it's the echo. I think, yeah, I'm 100% sure the echo is from you because when I mute you, we don't hear it. Yeah, I don't know if you have your phone on also while we're doing this, so it's creating an echo.
I don't know. It's still a
It
noise.
did go away. It went away for a minute.
Okay, well, I put my phone to the side, so it might have been that.
Yeah. So James Scott says, "What is the solution?" The solution, I think the real winner said it. We need more of us in positions of power to hopefully a righteous person in the position, because we can be in a position of power and then just only benefit yourself. I think we do need more people. We need more politicians. We need more police officers. We need more people in positions of power, and we got to get back to raising our kids. We got it. We can't leave that part out. We got to get back to raising these kids, man, because that is
the solution is a generational mindset. You know what I mean? And it goes to, once again, the survival mindset. We have to understand that what the change that we're trying to affect is generational. It's not going to be for us. It's going to be for our grandkids. It's going to be for our grandkids, right? You know what I mean? Because
right.
Other races come in here with that mindset. You know what I'm saying? The Jewish people, they come here with that mindset of understanding this is not for me. This is going to be, I'm setting this up for my progeny, right? So we have to understand the long game. You know what I mean? And I get it. Listen, we have the weight of the world and some on our shoulders because everybody want to be like this. Nobody want to be us. Right. You know what I'm saying? Everybody want to steal from us and everybody want to blame shit on us. You know what I'm saying? But it's a reason why, because we are the strongest. If you really do your deep dive and understand the history and see what the fuck we went through and we still here, it's a reason.
Absolutely. It's something to definitely be celebrated. We have to come together though at the end of the day, regardless of who you vote for.
Yeah.
But listen. So look, guys, we're at the end. We're a little bit over. Before we go, any last words? Well, yeah. Let me say this to you first and foremost. I respect the fact that you're the only person that I've ever talked to, and these most have been white people that support Donald Trump that admits he fucks up. And like people are so blinded by the whatever it is, like he doesn't do anything wrong. Like, so I respect the fact that you're not one of those people.
Okay.
Like this mother don't do no wrong. Everything he does is right, and it's right for him. It's right for the country. It's right for us. But I call bullshit on that. So I respect the fact that you are, you stand on that too. Any last words before we get up out of here, y'all? From either one of you guys.
Appreciate everybody that chimed in. I see some of my family in there. Appreciate y'all. Some of them might not chimed in. At the end of the day, I see some of the comments in there. Listen, our future depends on us. That's it.
At the end of the day,
we got to figure out how to become closer as a community, as a people. We got problems. Everybody got problems. Figure it the fuck out.
Yeah,
that's it.
Agreed. Anything, Chaz? Before we roll?
Nah, that was a great conversation about politics for me because I don't gonna get into it too much. But that was decent and great, different perspective for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I just want to say that you're right. We have to pull ourselves up, whatever that looks like, because no one's gonna help us. The Democrat, Republican, Independent, Green Party, whoever. Yeah. At the end of the day, we're gonna have to come together and build together. Otherwise, it doesn't matter who's in office.
Exactly.
So I will say that. And listen, my conservative brother, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you for coming on. I had to get you back down through here one more time.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah, man. And we just gonna make some things happen, man. Appreciate you. Listen, for everybody who tuned in tonight, you can catch the show tomorrow on Spotify and on Amazon Music. It'll be uploaded by the morning time. So if you miss it, you can also catch it replay on YouTube. Check us out, man. Continue to show the support. I appreciate y'all. Everybody who left a comment tonight, thank you so much for just taking your time out to be a part of what we got going on. I love you guys, man.
Yeah.
And as always, the South gonna always have something to say. The Steer Country Podcast. We are out.
Peace out.
Peace.
Straight out the South, Arkansas, where the talk is real and the vibe is raw. This South got something to say. No filters, no faking, just the truth, how we see it. So kick